I have the great pleasure of introducing our speaker for the day. And I might as well just grab my Kleenex now because I'm going to cry. Our speaker is one of our very own who brings the aloha spirit to all that she does. We have watched her bloom right before our very eyes. She opened the door into this sanctuary in 2012, and 8 years from this month, stepped into her very first foundations class. It was pretty much all over from there. She has an amazing abundance consciousness, and the joy that she brings is absolutely contagious. And we know that it will continue on in her new calling in the East Hawaii CSL Center. It is truly my pleasure to introduce the brand spanking new title to the platform for the very first time. Please join me in wrapping Reverend Beverley Strutt in a great big virtual NBC hug. Reverend Beverley.
Well, I don't really know what to say at this moment, and for all of you that know me, that's an unusual thing. Wow. Hi, New Vision Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Beverley Strutt. Damn, it feels good to say it. Oh, my goodness. What a journey. What a journey it has been. And you know, as I look around the sanctuary right here, right now, I can see every single one of you, exactly where you always sit, exactly what you're doing, beaming faces coming right back at me. All the love, all the joy, all the prayers. I could not have done it without you. So yeah, these are tears of joy, they're tears of excitement, they're tears of gratitude. I just am so grateful for that day that I did walk in here. Yep, my life changed forever. And each and every one of you has been the most important part of that journey, of that change. I can thank all the big people, all my teachers, all my mentors, everybody, but it is my community that stood, supported me. You were the wind beneath my wings, and you will still be. So I just say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with me every step of the way. And you know, we are speaking this month, this year, about the spiritual hero's journey. Well, I don't know about you, but when Reverend Leslie unveiled that in the first Sunday of this year, I was kind of like, that's just for me. I would imagine that there were a lot of other people that thought about it, but I was thinking to myself, my goodness, this is what I've just come through. And this is where I am going. I am going onto that next wonderful spiritual journey. So, as we have walked through this month already, we have seen how we begin, how Reverend Leslie spoke to us about hearing the call, hearing that little small voice inside of us starting to move around. We heard about fighting with God. And then as we moved, Reverend Karen spoke to us about all these wonderful spiritual principles and how we can take an inventory, how we can look into our rucksack, into our backpack, and see all those fantastic things we already have that we can use as we move forward. And then Reverend Leslie told us about whining. I'm not ready. I don't know what I'm doing, as she fought with God. So where does that bring us right now? Where does that bring us? It brings us to this point where we have actually said yes. We've actually decided that we're going to heed the call. Sure, we'll fight with God. We're going to check out everything we have and we'll fight with God some more. And we're going to whine while we're fighting with God. And then what do? We have to take the next step. We have to. We got to take the next step. That big, first, wonderful step. Easy. Pretty simple, I would say. We've done everything already, and now all we have to do is take that step. But you know, it's really not that easy. It's really, really not. We might be contemplating this and contemplating that. And then there's this thing that happens. We hear it. It starts to churn in our tummy. It starts to come up and it bubbles up all over the place. And suddenly it just bursts forth from your mouth and it's, what if? What if? What if this? What if that? What if, what if, what if, what if? And anybody that has done a class with me, anybody that has had a practitioner session, or even just chatted with me in the breezeway, you know I don't do what if. I just don't do what if. I find it's a useless waste of time. Because truly, you know, it's a what if. It's that thing out there. And you know, it's kind of amazing because my dad, you know, he was one of those, he would wage war in the land of what if. He would work out every single detail. He would turn over every stone, remove every obstacle. He would go down every road, every rabbit hole, until he had slain every possible what if. And then he would be ready. So, you know, it's not, you know, it's very normal that as a young girl, I would be following his path a little bit. And I remember one day, I was working on a project and I was getting so frustrated because I just couldn't figure out the details. I just didn't know what that next what if was going to be. And I must have got a little loud because the next thing my mom walked into my room to find out what the heck was going on. And I whined. And she looked at me and she said, "Just get started." I was like, huh? So she said it again. She said, "Just get started. And all of those issues will work themselves out along the way." Wow. Wow. That was an amazing gift. You know, it definitely changed my life because I realized at that point in time that we can't possibly know what's coming. We can't possibly have the solutions. Our brain can only work out solutions to things that we already know. It can't do what it doesn't know. It can only do what it knows. And when we get started and we walk down that path, it's going to reveal the issues. It's going to reveal the obstacles. It's going to reveal all these things. But at the same time, it's going to bring the solutions. Because that coin that has the problem on one side has the solution on the other. They always come together. This is one of those beautiful divine gifts. They always come together. And we can't know the people we're going to meet, the situations we're going to get into. We're not going to know where those gifts are going to come from. But you know what? They are going to come because we have said yes to the call. And that's the way it works. We even have some great writers, and I have some quotes for you. From Zig Ziglar, an American author, motivational speaker. He says this: "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." Absolutely. From Arthur Ashe, he says, "Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can." Wow. Start where you are. That's what Reverend Leslie said. Use what you have. Reverend Karen, do what you can. If you are the kind of person who is waiting for the right thing to happen, you might wait for a long time. It's like waiting for all the traffic lights to be green for 5 miles before starting the trip. Isn't that the truth? If we waited, can you imagine waiting for all of those traffic lights to be clear and open before we even began? That's the same thing with our what if. That quote came from Robert Kiyosaki. He was the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then, of course, I always have to use my favorite, Reverend Jane Beach. I do not have to do it perfectly. I only need to begin. I choose my destiny starting right now. I choose my destiny by starting right now, just getting started. And you know what I find really interesting is that if we look at that slide of the hero's journey, we can see I'm up there, right? I just got done with an incredibly wonderful journey. But I'm back there. I'm back. I'm back and I'm starting all over again. So every single time we begin our new journey, we go through the same things. We question the call. We check our rucksack. We whine. I love the wine part, especially when it's red and in a glass. But we do. This is part of it. But we take that step because we're going to get started on a new, wonderful adventure. And you know, as Les Cole so beautifully sang in that song, I asked for it and they gave it to me. You never do it alone. Never have to do it alone. Oh, boy. So, as I was preparing for this talk, I decided to do a little reminiscing, a little walk down memory lane through the talks that I had given here at New Vision Center. I wanted to see what I was thinking, what I was feeling, all of that stuff, and also, was there something in there that is relevant for right here, right now? And guess what? I found some great takeaways. So the first talk I gave, which was a while ago, thank goodness, which was called, Which Came First, Gratitude or Joy? And in there, the takeaway was allowing an attitude of gratitude to attract to you all of your heart's desires. An attitude of gratitude to attract to you all of your heart's desires. That's a great place to begin, just to be grateful, because we know it's like a magnet. Then my next one was the gifts we give ourselves. And the gift I gave ourselves in this was to receive all that the divine has to give. To open your heart and your mind to allow all God's gifts to flow right in. They're there. All we have to do is be willing to receive them. And then I spoke about chaos in the divine design. And what I got from that was a walk in faith. To see the divine design in any chaotic situation. In any chaotic situation, we can always find the gift. It's a walk in faith. And then I spoke about release, recycle, and reknow. To reknow the truth of who we are. Once we're able to lay everything down, all the what-ifs, all the concerns, all the worries, lay down what does no longer serve us. To release all the fears and ideas of unworthiness. Now that's a big one. I think that one can be a stumbling block for many of us. That idea that, am I worthy of this journey? Am I worthy of taking that next step? Should I really think that I can do this? Or who do I think that I can do this? And what we hear is, more importantly, who are you not to do this? And then there was one thing that showed up for me. And I saw this in all of my talks. It always comes back to choice. To choice. We have a choice in all of this. We get to choose to say yes. We get to choose to see what we have already. We get to choose whether we're going to take that next step. It all comes back to choice, because this is what our life is. All our experiences depend on the choices we make. And choosing to choose that which we desire to experience. All right, I'm going to say that one more time because this is a big one. All our experiences depend on the choices we make, and choosing to choose that which we desire to experience. It's that easy. We get to choose to be afraid. We get to choose to celebrate. We get to choose how we want to show up. Do we want to be excited? Do we want to be nervous? We know that the same chemical is released no matter which one we're feeling. So we get to choose. Today when I stepped up here, was I nervous? Oh my goodness gracious me. Can you imagine how nervous I was? And yet, I chose excitement. I chose excitement. And as I made that choice, I could feel a change in my body. I could feel a change in everybody around me. We settled down. So the choice is so important. And Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he says this: we cannot live a choiceless life. We just cannot. Every minute, every day, we are choosing. We're choosing our experience. We're choosing how we want to show up. We're choosing, even if we are not choosing, we are choosing not to choose. Really, it's the truth. Even if we say, oh, I'm not going to choose, that is a choice. Even if we choose not to take that first step on our journey, it's a choice. And here's another thing I just want to add is that if we choose not to take that step, it's okay. It's your journey. You get to choose it. But let's do this instead. Let's choose our experience. Let's choose our journey. And let's make the good choices that set us up well for this journey, like choosing to take action, choosing to have the attitude of gratitude, choosing to give ourselves the gift of divine love, choosing to see the gift in the toughest times, choosing to look again and to reknow the truth of what we are. These magnificent, magnificent expressions of the divine. And then we have another choice. the choosing to just get started, to take that first step, and to take it again and again and again. Because remember this, if you don't take that first step, if you do not get started, if you don't travel your amazing hero's journey, this unique journey will never happen. There's only one of you. You are this unique expression of the divine, a unique way that the divine is showing up in this world, having its way in, through, and as you. And if you choose not to do your journey, it will never happen. Oh, I'm not trying to put any guilt on you or push extra responsibility, but think about that. We often ask, what is our purpose here? Well, I think when we hear a call, I think when we feel that in us working, that there is the little voice showing and guiding us towards our purpose in life. And to say no, well, we can try, but I do believe that that spiritual 2x4 will knock us out and bring it again and again and again. Because I tell you something, spirit is not subtle. It is not subtle. Every step of the way on my journey, it was, here I am. Show up. You're going to do it this way. And I go, but I don't know how. No, here it is. It's for you. And this is what Teresa of Avila says. The divine has no body now on earth but yours. No hands but yours, and no feet but yours, to walk that unique, wonderful journey. So it's up to you to fulfill your calling, to be the most wonderful expression of the divine. And you know, in that beautiful reading that Karen did for us today, you could feel the passion. You could feel getting in there, really getting in deep. Don't do anything without bringing that passion in. It's beautiful. Such a reminder to go ahead and step in, and then step in all the way. We don't want to hang out on the edge of the river. Dive in, get wet, drench yourself. Feel that passion. Get going on that. So my charge around the talk is this today for you. Don't wait until you think you're ready, until you think your rucksack is filled up with every possible tool that you think you might need. Don't wait until you think you know exactly where you're going. Just don't wait. Take that first step and just get started. Because I know, had I not taken that first step to just get started, stepped into the trust and the love and the knowingness that I don't do it alone, that this is something that I have been called to do, I wouldn't be standing here today looking around the sanctuary, looking at everybody wearing their beautiful lace in honor of my next spiritual journey. That wonderful opportunity that has been afforded me, that has been given to me to actually follow my dream to Hawaii, to go on another magnificent spiritual journey. So we need to just get started. So I have a little something to share for you in closing. It was shared with me by my wonderful friend and mentor, Janet Gottschall, a beautiful, lovely lady and a magnificent practitioner. It's called The Mysterious Journey. When a path opens before you that leads we not know where, don't be afraid to follow it. Our lives are meant to be mysterious journeys unfolding one step at a time. Often we follow a path worn smooth by the many, and in doing so we lose our authenticity, our individuality, our own unique expression. Do not be afraid to lose your way. Out of the chaos, clarity will eventually arise. Out of not knowing, something new and unknown will ultimately come. Do not order things too swiftly. Wait, and the miracle will appear. So it is with calm openness, alive, awakened awareness that we step into this journey. And I want to leave you just with one more thing. I sound like Columbo, don't I? One more thing. If ever you find yourself in a sticky situation, you're not quite sure which way to go, you're not quite sure what to say, I invite you to lean back into this very moment with me and think, what would Rev Bev say? Then laugh out loud and just take the next step. Thank you. Thank you, my beloved community. Thank you for all that you have done, all that you are, and all that you will always be for me. And so it is. Let's take this to prayer. So in this moment that is filled up and overflowing with joy and love in every which way, I know the one power, the one source, the one universal creative mind that is in, through, and as each and every one of us, supplying, supporting, sustaining, and maintaining, bringing forth all that we are, allowing us to step forward into these magnificent, wonderful journeys. The beauty of the world we get to experience as we trust and know that we are guided, guarded, and protected every step of the way. And in this place, in this vessel that is NVC of love overflowing, I place so much gratitude. So much love has been received. So much joy has been shared. So much adventure has been known. And I know that today is only a new evolution, a new beginning, a new step forward, not just for me, but for each and every one of us, knowing that we say yes, yes to the divine calling, because we know that Spirit has said yes to us. Yes, my beloveds, yes. You have set your intentions. You have expressed your desires, and it is done. So I just release this knowing that it is so, knowing that this is the truth. And together we say, and so it is.